kind of to me being a little overhyped, and that's a lot of name value, name appeal. I'm talking about Willson Contreras, catcher. Let me start by saying I'm a fan of his as well. But
Hmm.
there are at least five catchers I think I'd rather own on my team than him, and that's kind of where he's being drafted right now. I don't want to pay a seventh round price tag on him. I believe in his average. I don't know that the power catches up, at least not yet. I think 20 homers from your catcher is nice, but I think people are expecting more, and I don't know that he necessarily has that in him. Uh, you know, he doesn't do much else other than the average if you take away what you project to be his power potential. So that's really nice, but it's not worth what people are expecting of him. It's like a Yadier Molina kind of nice, who's, all hail Yadier. But is there upside? Of course there is. It'll be 25 in May, so absolutely. Is there risk? Not much. If his floor is his ceiling, then you may be overpaying. Is basically what it comes down to with me for Contreras.
Yeah, and I'm a believer in Contreras. I drafted him all over the place last year in dynasty leagues. Traded for him. He was a bit of an up and coming prospect guy that used to be a third baseman, was converted to catcher. He has a good arm. I think he's still learning the position a little bit, but he played well enough behind the plate that I think the Cubs believe in him long term. He more or less pushed Montero out of a job. His big tool to me is the on base ability. He's going to be a plus player in on base leagues, I think, OBP leagues. Probably for most of his career. He'll tend to hit for a highish average, I think maybe 280 or so. I don't know how much I believe in the power. The power's been developed, and I always thought he was more of like a 12 to 15 homer guy. Not a 20 homer guy, which is what I think a lot of people see. I think a lot of people think this guy's going to be, 300 with 20 home runs, good counting stats, high on base percentage, where I think he's probably more like maybe, you said Yadier Molina. If he turns into Yadier Molina as a hitter even, that's a great ceiling for him, because Yadier obviously had some great years with a batting average. But I think he's more of, an above average catcher. He'll be somebody that you own. He'll probably be consistent. He's going to have good nights, good counting stats because of the lineup that he gets to hit in every night. So he's worth owning, especially at a position that's just tough to deal with catchers. But personally, I would much rather own Tom Murphy. If we know coming out of camp that Tom Murphy's going to get the job in Colorado, get to see a majority of the at-bats, I would much rather own him. I even think somebody like Austin Hedges is kind of underneath the radar and could end up with similar value to Contreras. So to me, I think Contreras is someone that's being overdrafted, a lot of it based on Cubs hype and name value. He's a very good player, and he could certainly exceed my expectations. But I'm seeing a 270 hitter with 13 homers and maybe 60 plus RBIs.
Yeah, I completely agree with that. And let's even show Jet Bandy some love. I don't think he's in the same category as
I like Jet.
Willson Contreras.
Great name.
It is a fabulous name. Listen, Contreras, great player, but I think the fact that he's in the Cubs is kind of pushing his stock up.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of
Red Sox and Yankees fans.
I hate to use phrases that are coined by other people, but there's a lot of helium behind Willson Contreras.